Hello, guys. Welcome to the Old School Show. I'm here with our guest, Ilya. He's a brown belt and a Bachelor of Psychology.
Yeah.
So he will have a lot of fun things to share, and he'll share a perspective how important is psychology in martial arts, and of course, especially in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Actually, let's start with how I started with jiu-jitsu. That is an interesting because let me tell you before we start anything, this guy got me into jiu-jitsu. Literally this guy. So how it started was I was browsing YouTube casually and I stumbled upon some Jocko Willink cut from a podcast or whatever. In that cut, he was discussing what's the best self-defense, and I shit you not, I still cite him to this day. When people ask me what's the best self-defense, I answer what he said first: a gun. Well, then after that, you can have a knife, and after that, you can have a martial art. Very interesting, actually, what he said. And he cited jiu-jitsu there. I researched it, what it was, would it benefit me, because I was training bullshit before that, which is Aikido. And yeah, it got me into jiu-jitsu. How I asked my friend, hello, can you literally just connect me with some good jiu-jitsu club? Do you know any? And yeah, she asked Obred. Obred told me to go to Old School. And here I am today. Obsessed with it still. It's 5-6 years. I cannot even remember.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to defense, even a gun is not so useful when you're close with someone.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, and when it comes to martial arts, it's something that you always carry with yourself, and that can be helpful. You don't have to have any tool with yourself. You can always just switch to autopilot and just engage in defense, basically. Yeah.
That is literally true. That's literal body movement inside you. It's part of memory that's called procedural memory inside our deep memory, and yeah, it's actually used when you're not thinking. It's automatic. So yeah,
Interesting.
That's actually really cool.
Interesting
Thing to share.
What was your impression when you came to our gym?
Well, first day I got heel hooked. So yeah, by Turbo, by the way, he was on podcast last time. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have we have no restrictions when it comes to this. White belts, they can heel hook each other. I mean, we don't encourage it. But
Yeah.
I don't think we have any defined rules what you can or cannot do at Old School.
Literally, don't pull as hard as you can. That's it. Be controlled.
Oh, this is so important because it tells you how nonverbal communication, things that you don't say actually, but you show it through your behavior. For example, in Old School, we are not very strict with the rules.
Yes.
But still, rules are somehow enforced. So it's just, the elders in gym, people who founded the gym, they behave a certain way, and indirectly they push this behavior on others.
Yes. Literally undefined rules that are actually defined.
Right.
That's really actually important for development of human mind. If you look at it from that perspective in psychology, it's literally undefined restrictions that your parents share with you by their responses to your actions are what will inhibit or make that action even more pronounced in the future. So yeah, that is actually a really important thing. And you see, it applies even when you're older, when you're doing something other than being a kid.
Right. I noticed that guys that come to our gym, some people just don't fit in and they quit. Yes. But people who fit in, they do embrace our values. And we don't have many instances in our gym where people get seriously injured. Injuries are part of jiu-jitsu, so your joints will get a little bit, they will, feel sore, like your muscles, but this is just ongoing process. It's not something that's damaging to your body. It's a normal thing.
Yeah, but it's a full contact combat sport. I mean, I don't know particular statistics about this, but I can bet all my money in my pocket that American football or rugby or even handball have more injuries and even specific knee injuries or whatever than jiu-jitsu, or even most martial arts have. I would argue that they do.
I agree. I think that jiu-jitsu, when practiced in a sane environment, is a very safe sport. Yeah.
Yeah, but also football and basketball, two most popular sports in the world. There's a shit ton of knee injuries, for example.
Right. Because there's such a high impact activity.
Yes.
You know, there's so much acceleration, and then people just crash into each other.
Yeah, one wrong toe turn and whoop,
Right.
you're rotated. As fuck.
That's why the things that can really injure you in jiu-jitsu are like flying techniques, you know, when you jump into someone else's knees, because there is so much acceleration and so much uncontrolled body weight that you push onto somebody.
Yeah, John Danaher beautifully said it. The most, like the thing that causes the most injury is literally just uncontrolled body weight. Just jumping to guard, basic guard,
Right.
will, by percentage, cost more white belts injuries than, I don't know, arm bars or kimuras or any actual leverage-based technique or joint lock.
True.
I think that's statistically accurate to say. But yeah.
How would you define the impact of jiu-jitsu on psychological development? How would you say how impactful it is? What role has jiu-jitsu in development of someone's psychology, someone's way of thinking, someone's mental state?
That's actually a really good question. But before I start in general statements, let me start with myself. You said I have bachelor in psychology. I'm a psychologist, I am. But I wouldn't be if there wasn't jiu-jitsu. So in my life, that combat sport really helped me pull through college. And what I mean by that is help me relapse that energy that was just up there in me. There's literally, for development and also for just staying healthy, there's literally criteria of how many steps you have to take, how many stretched your muscles have to be, how many times they have to be flexed. Dude, if you do not do that, you will feel it here too. Body and mind are not disconnected.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah, people don't understand that, but when you think about it, you're doing all these heavy things, you know, you're being choked on the daily basis, and anything else in life becomes easy after these things.
Yes. I mean, just try to remember when you thought that air in this office is really heavy, or in this bus, or in this classroom. Like, I cannot breathe, it's too dense of air. When did you think of that last time?
Right.
Yeah, after being under someone's mount, let us not cite people, Jovan, and other things, yeah, you won't think there's lack of air or something, or after you're being choked.
Right.
So yeah, basically those are principles of desensitization or exposure therapy, you know?
Yes.
Let's give an example of that with specific phobias. What are specific phobias? You feel really anxious or you feel a state of fear about some specific object or being. Okay, let's say you are afraid of, I see a pen there, pens. You're really afraid of pens. You have a phobia of that. Okay, how will we deal with that? You have to make steps with that. So first, I will work with you on just imagining a pen. Next thing I will work with is maybe even saying to you, look, can we agree that I will hide this pen in this building, not even this place, this building somewhere? You won't know where it is. If not, I will tell you where it is, okay? And next step, and next step, and next step. And eventually, that pen may even lay here. You'll be able to see it. Next step is you actually even write with it. What's my point? My point is you have to gradually expose yourself to the stimuli you do not like, but in life have to be accustomed to.
Right.
And part of it is actually feeling like you're a piece of shit, or that what I mean by that is actually that not that you suck, but that you're in a shit situation that you have to crawl out of that. You have to deal with pressure. You have to deal with next and next and next step of your opponent. You do that, all of that subconsciously and consciously, partially in every jiu-jitsu battle, in every jiu-jitsu round. How does that impact your life? It impacts it gradually. I think many people with breathing problems associated with psychological defects or disorders, for example, panic attacks and such, would actually benefit greatly from any wrestling or grappling-based sport. I really believe that. Because there you practice controlling of your breathing, yes, but that you practice in many sports. But what you practice here is also that being under constant pressure. Yeah, you will have to adapt to it. And when you learn to adapt to it, being somewhere else, I think it feels like nothing. It feels like feather on your shoulder.
Right, right. But this has to be a gradual exposure, so
Yes.
yeah.
And yeah, basically don't be mean to new people in jiu-jitsu. Okay, maybe he'll hook them, but not squashed.
Yes, I mean, for most people, the biggest step is just coming on the mats. This is the hardest one to take, probably.
Yeah. What do you think that is?
What?
What do you think it's hard for people to even come to mats?
It's so many things. So they don't know in which environment they're going to come.
Fair.
They don't know what to expect because they watch all these martial arts movies and they see tough stuff there. How the new guy comes and everybody is mistreating him, so he has to progress through the ranks and prove himself. But that's not the reality. I mean, no one is going to
Yeah.
bully you at the start. I mean, if it's a good gym, so people will try to build you up.
Yeah, well, you asked what do you think about our gym culture?
Yeah.
Let's add to that. I felt from literally the first day that I talked to some people that even if I tomorrow at my third, fourth training session came up or just have seen some technique on YouTube, I don't know, and asked, is this valid? And it is valid. You guys would be like, oh, that's so dope, show it. Like,
Right.
holy shit.
Right.
If that happened, right? It's less chance when you're a newbie and all, but if it happened, if you come up with something valid and you're in gym that accepts just validity, not authority, appeal to authority, no, just validity of things, yeah, you will go well. And do not be afraid. There's another exposure here. To what? To being anxious to talk to other people. Do not be afraid to ask.
Right.
Those
right.
that ask, those people stay.
And you have to have some kind of assertiveness. This is also what training jiu-jitsu can teach you.
Yes.
You have to approach people and ask them for guidance because no one can know what you need except for you. So you need to be the judge of your own jiu-jitsu game. Like you need to be a judge of your other areas in life. You can see what are your weaknesses. It's up to you to discover them because your coach can do that, but he only see a part of the picture. You are the one who constantly has to do self evaluation and check what are your good sides and what are your weaker sides, what are your mediocre sides, and just work to improve all of them.
Yeah, that is completely true. You're the only one who knows the full picture of your game. Yeah, that is truth. And you can even think about it. Holy shit, this is a shit ton of responsibility. But I don't think anybody ever thought of that. Even if he did and he continued, or she, whatever, continued, what did that make of that person? What did that make of that person? Well, it certainly helped them to overcome the burden of responsibility for something that you want to achieve. That's what jiu-jitsu actually stimulates you to do. And I think that's also because how structured that sport is, but we can get to that point. What my point now is, jiu-jitsu stimulates you to go to a certain goal that you prescribe to yourself. And just overcome it. And you accept responsibility of that and what you have to do or what you just can do in that moment to get better at that, to be closer to that goal. Just that as a principle for life is beautiful. I see that I don't think there's really a modality of psychotherapy that doesn't acknowledge that you have to just say a specific goal and go for it. I don't know any theory that doesn't acknowledge that or say, yeah, that's cool.
Right. How important do you think competitions are for your development?
Very. Like, I still remember the sentence of Nikola Jankovic, one of our gym seniors, one of our coaches. Like, he told me, look, here you can go 100%, 105% in gym. On competition, people will go 200% casually. And what he meant by that is those little finicky details will be lost. But if you go with more details, if you know more details, if you have more knowledge about technique, and some is lost, you're still left with this much. But if you start with this, how much will you be left with when you go 200% with all boundaries of your body? With this much? Yeah, that's worse than having this much knowledge at start, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was also a beautiful lesson for jiu-jitsu and for life. When you're on test in college, you will go 200% to pass that test. Or when you're at your job, you go 200% to get that evaluation, to get that better pay and everything. But you will also be knowledgeable about that at certain points you don't have every bit of information in your head. That's something that's actually really beautiful, and I have learned that specifically in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it also helps you really perform under pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Performing under pressure is really important for every aspect of life. Being prepared to.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot. Worrying won't help you solve your problems.
Yeah.
What will help you is actually engaging in solving your problems. Being in a state of panic didn't help anyone. So just relaxing, taking a deep breath and just focusing on your issue at hand is all you need to do. And once you've done competitions so many times, once you're been in a situation when someone is trying to submit you with their full force, this gives you a lot of confidence to take on any challenge you may face in your life.
And also a lot of knowledge about the reality of your body. You know what it is capable of now that you actually train.
Yes.
And succumb it to all those conditions that are in the gym. Like, you know what is capable of and what is it not capable of. You will not be overly ballsy in some pub compared to somebody. On average, you won't be compared to somebody that's, he thinks he's king of the hill because he sees red, bro. When he goes mad, he just sees red and he will kill everybody. Yeah.
Of course, and that's a lot of times that's just a display of insecurity.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're secure in yourself, why the hell would I fight? You even ask, why the hell would I fight? Why the hell would I risk to
harm a civilian
or harm myself? Like, fuck that.
Right.
Why?
Yeah, when you think about it, what's a good scenario? What can happen? You can get killed or injured, and you can, in best scenario, you can just handle someone, but you can also injure someone. Even a best scenario where you don't get injured can be a bad scenario for someone else.
Yeah.
So there's really you don't feel any need to prove anything because you know your own self-worth.
You know it already.
What you can do. Yeah.
You don't need to prove it in pub. you already shown yourself that worth on the gym mats against resisting people. That try to strangle and break you. Yeah, that's cool as well.
That are very skilled. How would you rate the skill level of people in Serbia? I mean, you didn't travel a lot and train in gyms abroad, but...
Yeah, but actually, a lot of people come. I train at old school, but I trained in 10P too.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have come to old school, but also in 10P, Belgrade. And actually, many people I have rolled with, I would say I overestimated how bad we are. I thought that we were much worse than we actually are. That's the thing. I really thought that. When I was a whitey, I really thought that, oh shit, that's some magic there. No, it's still just a technique. Maybe I can see that perfect weight shift that Gordon Ryan did or something, but it's still a technique. People here actually now know techniques, that they have embraced that jiu-jitsu, internet culture and everything. So I wouldn't say that we are too far-fetched. We're still worse than America, for example, in general. But from some other European countries, I would say only Nordic countries are better, and Poland and maybe Russia.
Okay, quick break. So you can visit our website at bjj.rs. And if you are visiting Belgrade, Serbia, you can come and visit our gym. This is our location, and you will not get easy rolls here. So you can also check out our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And please feel free to follow us and subscribe to our social media accounts. And guys, we're back. So we have our screwdrivers and we're ready to continue the conversation. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Nice.
Yeah, so how would you say that is jiu-jitsu for everyone? What would you say from the psychological perspective?
Again, that's so niche to say today that everything is for everyone. Like, they expect you to say that. I cannot say that this drink is for everybody. I can say that that light is for everybody or anything. If it was for everyone, not everyone, nearly everyone, it would be cold water or air. That's it.
Right.
There's a specific reason why it's called jiu-jitsu, and that's because it has rules, it has its boundaries. It does require specific skill sets for you to develop, to enjoy it, right? So yeah, there can be some preferences. I really don't like to do that. I maybe prefer boxing. Fair enough. But in many situations, I think it's just confronting the reality part of it. The reality that you will get smashed over and over and over again. And by what I mean by that is that you have to take slow step approach and be actually happy for yourself that you are made some progress. I just made a good underhook connection to my opponent. That's great for this training session. It was cool. It was good underhook connection. I could move him freely. It was nice. And he was a resisting opponent. He gave me feedback by being a resisting opponent that is realistic what I'm doing. It's a valid what I'm doing. That's a very important part. It reinforces people's mental health. But it's also what maybe repulses some people. Because you're giving me proper valid resistance, not that you're letting me smack you wherever I want to simply put it, my ego is hurt. I have that view of world to say that, no, everything must be according to my standards and my views and my beliefs and my wants. Really, dude?
Right.
Really? Jiu-jitsu slaps you in the face for that. And if you don't like it, leave. It says it's literally on every gym door if it's a good gym.
Would you say that some people cannot take having their egos crushed because that would damage their image of themselves too much for them to be able to normally operate?
Yes, to some degree. What do we mean by that is that we all have some concepts in our head. You can call it constructs, you can call it thoughts, call it whatever. You have something, you have categories for everything that you see, for everything that you memorize. And now you try to look through those lens of what you made
right
in your head. You try to look and you try to say, look, those lenses are the best in the world. If that's the focus of your thought, to say that just your lens that you created throughout your life are best, but not to adapt them, to improve them, to make them flexible. That's the important part. Make your thoughts flexible.
Right. We discussed this many times. So I think that the best thing for mental health is to live in reality, to see reality for what it is. And a lot of people have twisted perception of reality. They have an idea of themselves which is greater than they actually are. They are tougher than they actually are. Most of men are this way. Yeah. So I think that facing the reality they are much weaker than they previously thought, especially when they compare themselves with people that actually train actively. This can be too much of a blow for them to handle, and they're not ready to face this part of reality. Because this could be an integral part of their personality, to be a tough guy.
Yeah, they do not want to change that one thought, that one construct, that one view of world. That I am something
that's fragile, that's vulnerable.
Yes, I actually have limits on this body. Could you imagine that? You have limits on your body.
No, man. I just see red and I just crush everything.
The classic. The next step is I can survive a car crash. Car can crash into me and it will break, not me. That's the next step in that logical thinking. It's illogical, it's unrealistic, and inflexible. It must be according to my standards. No. So yeah, that's what's jiu-jitsu really cool. It makes you confront the reality, and actually it weeds out, it filters that kind of people in itself. So I think that's why it's really cool. That's why jiu-jitsu gyms are usually so cool. At least most gyms that I came into, I see cooler people than I see in other martial arts gym. That's it. Maybe I'm biased, but my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you also have those people who don't want to train because they're too manly for that activity. Jiu-jitsu is just too much for their manly standards.
Okay, look like this. In jiu-jitsu, you'll probably touch more men than most women will ever see. I don't know. So why does that harm you? I mean, why? You just made a confrontation with somebody, again, who gave you valid resistance, that tried to choke you out or break some of your limbs. Why does it attack your manliness? What? That will stop somebody from literally slamming you into ground, getting you up and slamming you into ground in a street fight because you feel it's not manly for him to do it. It will stop him from doing that. No.
I think it's an excuse because people are afraid to face the roughness of jiu-jitsu and they're afraid to face their ego. So it's easier to say that they're too manly for that than to say that they're too much of a pussy to try an activity. I mean, it's not for everyone. You don't have to train jiu-jitsu, but I think what you're too afraid to try, you often bash it.
Look. There's also one thing. Maybe they actually really like rubbing themselves onto other men. And they won't confront that, which is okay, but...
Yeah, but, I mean...
Like, who doesn't?
Yeah. So, what I want to say regarding... I think that people today are too distanced, People are just... scrolling their phones, and a lot of people are not used to human touch anymore.
To human touch, and
they have a kind of anxiety when it comes to that.
Yeah, but not even touch. Let's even say fuck that. Just direct approach to things. Just they're not accustomed to talking like two of us are talking like this. Now, the next step, you're literally hugging your two bodies into each other. Yeah, sure. But I also think what makes jiu-jitsu, what I observe, maybe I'm again biased, but whatever. what I can observe is that people in gyms generally make better friendships, and what I mean by that is that they are able to express themselves even more openly, to tell things about themselves that they won't tell you after, I don't know, knowing you for years. They'll tell to somebody that's they train jiu-jitsu with. So why is that? Your life is your and their life is literally in each other's hands. What do I mean by that? When you come in jiu-jitsu as a YT, you literally can get mauled by some brown or black belt. What I mean by that is you are controlled at every step, but yet still smashed. You feel like you cannot escape anywhere. And when you just blinked, you're into submission. They're either choking you out, that's literally having your life in their hands. If they just hold that choke, if they like that, you will be dead. And next thing is they can make you into a disabled person by breaking off your joint into the most disgusting way. If they'd like to, right?
Yeah.
You literally have to trust somebody across you to not do such things. And when you do that, I think that somehow subconsciously we actually start trusting each other more. We start connecting to each other more easily because, hey, you're actually a cool person. You didn't want to hurt me in some way.
Yeah.
And even better if you somehow made me better at jiu-jitsu or better at fighting that day. Maybe you gave me some tip. Maybe you told me why I was smashed that day. That even deepens it. And then come discussions and brotherhood is built. Brotherhood and connection between people.
Yeah, I mean, also in real life, a lot of people act tough because they want to have an impression on you. You know, they act tough. Or other people, they act nice towards you. You know, and you learn in jiu-jitsu that people are just actual people. They're being actual themselves. They want to help you. They want you to progress. They want you to learn the skill as well. They will tell you what your weak points are. They will tell you what you need to improve. And in real life, people often like to impose themselves as tough because they want to push you to do something for them. Or they act kind because they want to manipulate you to do something for them. But you see in jiu-jitsu all these regular people that act normally, and you realize there's no need for any of that. I mean, you just you can be a regular person and develop normal cooperation with people, even if they're much better than you in something. You don't have to bully them because you're better.
Yes, you don't have to bully them. You can actually learn with them. You can learn.
Right. You can see, like we spoke about many times on this topic, a new guy can watch a YouTube video and do something that works. And ultimately, if a thing works, it works.
Yes.
It's real.
And that's why, advices from other people in jiu-jitsu are just more trustworthy. Okay, you just gave me advice how to better my knee bar.
Yeah.
Okay, does it work? Yes, good. This guy actually thinks good of me. He wants for me to get better, right?
Right.
Okay. Does it not? Let's say it doesn't work. Let's say it just doesn't work, it didn't make anything better. Okay, it didn't make anything better, I come back to you and actually reassure myself, did I hear that good? Some I did hear that good. I tried again and it wasn't better. Okay, maybe I found out that you're just some guy that wants to fulfill their ego, not to better others. Good. It's really clear.
Right.
Others' intentions are really pragmatically clear. Let's say it like that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's very good because you have an instant reality check in jiu-jitsu. If something works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I want other people to improve because then they will defend against me better. Yes. And that's in my interest, actually.
Yes.
Because if they give me better resistance, I will be able to advance my technique even further.
You're only as good as the guys in your room are.
Right.
The people at your room are. And that is so important to learn for your life, and jiu-jitsu just reinforces that.
Right. That's why it's in my interest to train people to defend against me. I will tell them how to defend if I know to teach them this. because that is my interest. I want them to give me new tasks that I have to solve, so I can develop my solutions, and I will then improve myself. I will improve myself, and I will have a solution to some things that I didn't even know they exist. Some new ways to defend a knee bar, for example, and then I will sharpen my tools much better for competitions.
Sure, sure. Yeah, that's another valid point. Like, it's in both people's interest if they want to get better, to better each other.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot say anything but fuck yes to that.
Right.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Also, one really interesting thing that comes to my mind that we discussed way before is that amazing feeling that you get when you teach somebody something. And not just teach. Imagine you spent 5 years on one move. You spent 5 years sifting through that internet archive, sifting through knowledge of others, sifting through your knowledge, trying to come up with new moves. And you make that technique. It's so good. It goes good. And now you teach it to somebody a few minutes. Make it even half an hour. Fuck it. Half an hour. What you did in 5 years, he now knows at least 90% of it in half an hour.
Right.
How amazing that is. You actually know you bettered somebody by that much, how do you say that? But you put so much into it, and that actually bettered somebody else.
Right.
You translate it to somebody else. That's amazing feeling.
I believe first you have an obligation to do it. If you have developed a technique so much, you have an obligation to share it with your people.
If you want to better each other, yes.
Right. Second point, which is more important for your self-development, is that you solidify these points by teaching other people. You learn them better yourself because you have to break them apart on smaller instances and then show them to someone. When you do that, you learn the technique so much better. My techniques increase so much when I teach them to other people because you learn through teaching.
Yeah, that's what many of best jiu-jitsu athletes say. I mean, I have seen that in many athletes such as wrestlers, for example, Cal Bohem or Bo Nickel, when you watch them. But other than that, in jiu-jitsu, Mikey Musumeci, Gordon Ryan, John Danaher, Craig Jones, doesn't really matter. Matthew Szczeciński, whatever. They all said that when they teach a move, they actually become conscious of some details that they were doing so that they can verbalize them and show them to others. Like, you can see, okay, something is not wrong with that guy's knee, but what didn't I say that was important? That's literally what's in your head when you're trying to teach me that knee, right? And that's when you actually become conscious of so much of these little details that were subconsciously in your procedural memory. That's also fascinating and beautiful feeling. You're more knowledgeable of what you have already knew, and other person is able to replicate that archive of knowledge that is one technique. I mean, that truly is something that's beautiful. That's like teaching a child to walk. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, and it also a synergy which develops when you have a good connection with people is amazing. I mean, look at us in Serbia. We're just some dudes that started training jiu-jitsu for fun, and we have accumulated a lot of knowledge. I mean, I think that's a fact. Us at Old School, Dejan at 10P, we have a lot of knowledge here and a lot of experienced people. And the people that we are building up right now will set up a foundation for something even greater, So I think in a couple of years, we'll have a really solid jiu-jitsu here in Serbia.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool in jiu-jitsu, and sport really. It evolves.
Yeah.
It evolves, of course, according to new changes in rules, but also according to what's trendy. And yeah, that's what's so cool in jiu-jitsu. But also, it evolves according to technologies. What does that mean? We have access to internet instructionals today, dude. We have that. Many people didn't have that till a few years ago. Like, they started being produced a few years ago. It wasn't 2000 and, I mean, there was actually cassettes and that, but they were really poor quality, they weren't so systematized, and so on. Good quality instructional started producing, I don't know, I think 2016, 17. I could be wrong. But sure, you have that now.
Yes.
Use it.
Right. To be honest, I'm not very nerdy when it comes to instructionals. I don't watch them at all. But I'm kind of a leech when it comes to that. I let other people watch instructionals and then I get.
I know that fucker. I know that. I know that. You motherfucker. You let me watch something and then ask me that. Or Uglesha or Mjodor or anyone. Or, yeah. Motherfucker. Yeah.
But I think that's fair because I have a different approach. Have my techniques which I'm developing and working on, and I'm more based on feeling. And as someone who is experienced in jiu-jitsu, who is training now for more than 14 years, I like to test new things and develop new stuff tested on people. And if it works, then I teach it to people. And while I'm teaching it, then I'm even developing these concepts further. So I think we all have our ways to contribute, and it's okay for me to have this approach, and it's okay for young purple belts to watch instructionals and be nerdy, so we can all, extract value and share knowledge with each other.
Yeah, well, basically in psychology there was always that debate. What takes over what person? That's basically kind of personality trait. What takes over what person? What you intuitively think or what you analytically think? Jung started that debate and so on. So that is actually really interesting. And there are people on that spectrum between those two lines, analytical and intuitive. Like, there's shit ton of people. There's an infinite amount of people. There's 7 billion of people, amount of people between those two dots about many things in life. And in jiu-jitsu, there's also many people in that. What that means is that we can actually have more tunnels, more incomes of information. Like, you can discover by feeling that a little fucking little. Like, we have talked about not trusting your hips straightforward when you're doing knee bar, but going a little bit there, right?
Right.
That came intuitively, but it's a beautiful detail.
Thank you.
It propped up my knee bar finishes, but at least to 20%, I mean. Which is significant.
Amazing. That's amazing, man.
Which is significant. And that's one thing. But also, many analytical approaches gifted me new systems, new points to think about what is important in which submissions. They gave me a foundation, at least, So I actually try to mix those two. And to be honest, when I come up with techniques, rarely they're analytical come-ups. I usually do something intuitively and then overanalyze over it, which is cool. Different approaches, different results, but also different tunnels of information that we can all combine and learn more from.
Right.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And all of them are legitimate.
Yeah, it's legitimate. And it doesn't mean it has to be jiu-jitsu. It can be your workplace. Maybe someone is really intuitive about what they're doing when speaking on that phone.
I agree. That's why I believe that humans should be in this flow state. When they're flowing, when they're relaxed and just enjoying the moment. And everyone can bring their approach. And when everyone brings their approach, their system, their way of doing things, a synergy happens between all these different approaches. And we all bring each other value with different mindsets, and we all improve together.
Yeah, but that's the fun thing about it also.
Yes.
The clashing of viewpoints. That's the fun thing about debates, dude. That's why we watch and listen to debates and arguments. But that's also why we argument about techniques, right? maybe you will come with some new detail, and maybe from that approach,
Yes.
from approach X, and I will come with detail that overlaps with it from approach Z. Okay, now we're in clash. Now we will find out which is better, or maybe even a better detail through middle ground.
But
That's so cool.
right, but what's our interest? Our main interest is the improvement.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's why our arguments are not arguments in a sense, you're a terrible person, I hate you.
They're healthy arguments.
Right. I want you to criticize me.
Yes.
I want you to tell me that my technique sucks and that I need to improve. I appreciate that input.
Yeah,
So
sure.
because we have the same interest, because we have the same goal, this is why we can have that synergy.
Yeah, and again, I have to go back to it. It's just so interesting that if you survive in jiu-jitsu environment, you will actually have usually that interest of becoming better. And if others become better, that even betters you. So that is really interesting point. It compels you to go for competency, to be competent at something, not for showing off. No, being actually competent at something. It propels you to do that. Yeah. Just knowing that in one part of your life can generalize it over other parts of it, and that's so impactful.
Yes, you will strive generally in life to be competent and not to be, someone who is chasing respect of other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, because you want to be competent, you show competency to others. They become more competent. They push you more. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of lessons, you could say, I learned from jiu-jitsu. And it's so interesting how many lessons that I learned in college or from other seminars or anything have been shown to me in jiu-jitsu. It's been called in regular language, but that's just this concept or this theory of what this important guy is saying in science. It was, yeah, I think that's what draws me always back to jiu-jitsu. That empirical validity that it has and how it enhances people to get better.
Agreed. Okay, well, we are out of our screwdriver, so I think we should go to a bar.
Yes, most definitely.
Have something else. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, follow, and subscribe. Last question, is jiu-jitsu gay?
Absolutely, and I fucking love it.
Perfect. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day or night, and we'll see each other next time. Bye.
See you.